Sometime last year, I believe it was in 2008, scientists announced that they'd found or measured a cosmic ray somewhere in the 300 quintillion electron volt range. Now, the interesting thing about that is that that's a pretty high value of electron volts to try to explain away by any conventional processes. And I can't think of much of any theory other than the comedy recycling theory that can suggest a viable hypothesis for how such an incredibly high level of electron volts can be generated. Now, the interesting thing is, I've read in another article someplace that for every proton-proton repulsion encountered, you can generate approximately 1,000 electron volts, which means that for a black hole that's consuming protons and storing them up in an energy inactivated state for thousands, millions, if not billions of years, that once all that's freed up, you can free up an enormous quantity of protons, each repelling each other. And if you have an enormous quantity of protons released, you would need approximately 300 quadrillion of them in one direction or another to end up producing the 300 quintillion electron volt energized cosmic ray, which scientists had measured sometime last year. Now, most any other theory, or most any other conventional theory, there's not a good way that they have of producing that high of a range of in the 300 quintillion electron volt range. I mean, that's pretty enormous. I mean, again, it's not as enormous as what some people would think, because the electron volts is a pretty wimpy measurement of energy, but nonetheless, getting 15 or getting a 300 quintillion electron volts together, lined up, keep all your ducks in a row or whatever, to get 300 quintillion of them acting together, takes a little bit of doing. And only the comedy recycling theory has a good source for imagining how such an energetic cosmic ray could be generated, because we would only need approximately 300 quadrillion protons, each pushing each other away, and that's not an exactly exorbitant number when you consider a black hole in operation for millions, if not billions of years, and then suddenly being able to free all those protons at one time, generating a ball, even if it's a ball with a diameter where you have a cross-sectional diameter of 300 quadrillion protons. Again, that's not an entirely unreasonable number to generate a cosmic ray with a 300 quadrillion or 300 quintillion electron volt potential to it. That's something that conventional magnetic theories, conventional interaction theories, have a great deal of difficulty coming up with something that'll put enough of a twist, enough of a energy potential generating mechanism to give you a 300 quintillion electron volt cosmic ray. But the comedy recycling theory, I believe, can do that much more easily with the hypothesis at hand than can pretty much any other theory that's out there. So that's one of these brief segments we'll have that scientists last year did measure a 300 quintillion electron volt cosmic ray. And just to put that in perspective, that when they're talking about the Large Hadron Collider that scientists have made over in Europe, where they're colliding protons going at near the speed of light head to head, they're still only talking a few billion electron volts, or maybe a trillion electron volts if they can get it up to peak everything. But that's still dwarfed by the amount of that one cosmic ray, so that the people that are worrying about will a miniature black hole swallow the Earth being generated by the Large Hadron Collider is pretty much a fruitless fear that when you have a cosmic ray generated by some other principle than at least anything that Earth scientists know of at the present time, and you have it generating a cosmic ray in the 300 quintillion electron volt energy range, so that I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep at night worrying about I would not lose a lot of sleep worrying about the proton-to-proton collisions from the Large Hadron Collider. That those are just so wimpy by comparison that it's not even worth mentioning. And that's another unique perspective from the comedy recycling theory of the entire known universe. www.cr-theory.org. Thanks for listening. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll talk to you later.